That moment when you spend thousands on your bass amp and cabs, haul it all into the studio, and the engineer then just DIs your signal straight into the interface.
Dude, come on, this is how a studio works. Besides, we're just going to get the guitar player to play the bass after you go home for the day. That way it's done right. Yes, I do! This is what we've become. They'll spend thousands upon thousands on tube amps. Hey everybody, how's it going? It's SMG Viewers Comments. Hope you're going to have an absolutely amazing weekend. We're at episode, 450? Damn. Can't believe it's been like this week after week. I'm just more than happy to keep doing it though. It's absolutely awesome. Anyway, I'm shooting this on the night of Sunday, the 17th, because I'm trying to get some stuff done ahead of time. I got to do another trip back up to Toronto this week. So if you see me running around on Queen Street or something like that, yes, that was me. Anyway, so pop culture recommendations for this week, books and TV shows. Somebody actually suggested Shogun last week, and I'm like, damn, that was absolutely killer. Get it? Pun? Huh? Yeah. And books to read. Right now I'm going through Andrew Hong's Make Your Own Rules. Pretty cool. I do audiobooks when I'm on road trips, that kind of thing, so I'm listening to that right now. Andrew's actually been a friend for a number of years, and I've met him at a few different YouTube functions and whatnot, but it's kind of cool to see his outlook and how he approaches things and whatnot. Always down to improve my own workflow, that's for sure. And, and music recommendation for the week, Judas Priest's Invincible Shield. Anyway, let's get to your comments, questions right now.
I don't know why I have to keep repeating this. I'm a guitarist. I don't care about your studies or your facts or infinitely repeatable results based on measurable evidence. I'm a superstitious, paranoid narcissist with delusions of grandeur, and instead of trying to become the next president of America, I'll hide behind a wall of effects and mountains of post-processing while telling everyone else, you just need to plug directly into the insert expensive, unattainable amp to really get good tone. In a condescending way, as to let the listener know that they are so far beneath me, I shouldn't even bother myself talking to them. Wait, is this what we've become?
Sadly, I think you're correct. This is what we've become. We've gone from, hey, check out this amazing piece of music I wrote. Maybe you want to hear it more than once. To, oh, look at this awesome thing I bought. Isn't it pretty? It sounds so unique. And, this is the thing about guitar gear. It's all kind of designed to do the same thing. So naturally, a lot of it kind of sounds similar. A little bit, at least. And then you watch the guitar players lose their minds. No, Glenn, you're wrong. My stuff's completely fucking unique. I have my own tone. Sounds in the hands, man. The tone's in the hands. Ugh. Anyway, all I'm trying to do is help you guys wade through the gigantic lake of bullshit and try and save you some money along the way. Buckle up. It's going to be an interesting ride. And oh yeah, by the way, if you're one of the 600,000 people who watched my show last month and didn't hit the subscribe button, remember, it's absolutely free. And if you're not subscribed, it'd be way cooler if you were. I hope to have you along on this long, crazy trip.
What I don't understand from all these butthurt comments is this. Glenn isn't trying to sell anything, just showing evidence from what can be measured. What would the benefit of Spectre sound to lie to you? These tests aren't made to try to sell you anything, so why are you trying to make the word from the artists, pickup manufacturers, amp manufacturers that have the exact agenda, i.e. to sell you shit instead of Glenn's tests? I honestly don't get it, but then again, since starting my career in QA testing and not having as much time to play guitar, I have less the brain of a musician and more of an engineer? Go figure.
Well, okay, that's not entirely true. Morley did sponsor that test episode. Morley makes really cool stuff to keep your guitar signal clean. Oh no, they're on to me. That's my agenda there. I'm helping you keep noise out of your guitar signal. I know. Fuck you, Glenn, you bastard. Here's the thing. SJ Pedro. Hey man, I really do appreciate the comment there. I'm glad you get the idea and whatnot, but you're discounting the effect of the guitar player's pride versus his purchase. Guitar amps cost a lot of money, and somebody might have a big collection of them, and yeah, maybe in the room they're hearing a bigger difference than you would hear when you have it mic'd up. But unfortunately, the part when you mic it up is the part that counts. And how many of you guys watching the show have played with their amp in the room? It sounds absolutely amazing. They go to mic it up and it sounds like shit. I'm guessing that's about everybody watching the show has run into that exact same situation. So I'm trying to help people decipher what they need to do to get a better recorded signal through that fucking microphone. That's my agenda. I'm the guy who's spent thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars on multiple amps and tubes and this and that and the other thing and pickups, just all this bullshit that really doesn't help you get that sound funneled through the microphone. Here's the thing. I remember what it's like to be 28 years old, not have a lot of money, and trying to get a studio off the ground. I'm just trying to give you, some of the younger guys, some advice so they can avoid making the same mistakes that I did.
I need someone to slowly and clearly explain to me what DI and reamp boxes actually do. Why can't you just use your interface?
You know what? Fantastic question. I'm glad it's not somebody bitching about my tests and whatnot and actually, hey, why do we need this? Okay, a DI box is simply a direct interface box. Yes, you can use your recording interface, but those vary in quality. Some of the cheaper recording interfaces don't really have good DIs. And this is the one place where you actually want to spend money, because if you're using amp sims, this is kind of the critical part. This is the choke point for your guitar sound, so to speak. And a lesser DI, you might run into tone issues, but you also run into headroom issues. Like the first generation Focusrite Scarlett had a big problem with headroom where you just couldn't get it quiet enough. And it's even some of the more expensive manufacturers, like Neve released the 88M a couple years back, and I did a review on it, and I'm like, oh, I really hate to do this, guys. I mean, I fucking love Neve. But the 88M, that DI on it had no headroom whatsoever, so you couldn't run anything hotter than a Strat pickup on it. And I'm like, guys, really? This is your finished product? Come on. So they actually did a retool and fixed it, but I felt so fucking bad for having to do that. It is what it is. Now, a reamp box. This is basically a very special transformer that takes a line out signal out of the back of your interface and transforms it back into a guitar signal. If you wonder why you can't just plug your interface into your guitar amp, I'd suggest go right ahead and do it and watch what happens. You're going to get an awfully noisy signal. This does it in a way that's very, very clean. I've been reamping since 2005. I've had several different models from several different manufacturers, and this is by far the best one I've ever come across. This is the Signal Art reamp. It is absolutely incredible. It's made by my friend Chad Kelly. His stuff is absolutely top notch, and you're going to be seeing some more cool stuff come from Chad real soon. Keep your eyes peeled. But here's the thing that blows my mind, and this is what drives me absolutely fucking crazy about guitar players. They'll spend thousands upon thousands on tube amps. You say, hey, why don't you get one of these? And all of a sudden, well, I'm not going to spend money on that. Meanwhile, this is the thing that's going to help them make a whole bunch of discoveries about what really matters with guitar tone.
Here's where the deniers' objections fall apart. They want to compare isolated track to isolated track. When have you ever seen a band and heard an isolated track? Never! In the mix is the only sound that matters. The other instruments influence the sound greatly. That's why differences fade away in a mix. Butthurt bitches be tripping. Keep spitting the truth, Glenn.
Steve Sorrell, thank you so much for writing that. I think that's a fantastic observation, and with your permission, I'd like to work that in the show and keep reminding people that. Like, when is the last time you ever went to go see a band that was just the guitar playing by itself? I know a lot of you guys, especially you gent kids, are trying to bore us to death with your 9-minute self-indulgent wank fests, but when you go see a show, you don't just see a guitar player just stand there. It doesn't fucking happen. There's at least usually drums and bass going as well. Maybe some guy going into a fucking microphone, but at least there are other elements going on to create a cohesive whole. Maybe if guitar players could get over their own fucking egos for 5 seconds, they'd realize that they're not the only people that play music, and you do need to be part of an ensemble. You should adjust your instrument accordingly. I know. Might as well shoot bullets at the sun.
I never spent $1,000 or more on something from China. iPhone and Samsung prices.
Oh, shut up, dude. Alrighty, everybody, this episode is brought to you once again by Spectre Digital. This company allows me to do things like fun gear reviews and give you guys awesome tests and hopefully help you navigate the interesting world of home recording and guitar gear and hopefully get you the results you're looking for. We've got this amazing program called Element Bass. It is our awesome bass amp sim. It works on just all different kinds of genres and whatnot and can get you awesome mixes like this. And just reading the update here, we just have version 1.0.4 out. We've got multiple improvements in the authentication system. It's opening and faster closing for the plugin. Bug feature reports now functional. That's a big one there. And a rare case where Windows 11 could not get a hardware ID is now resolved, and there's overall stability fixes as well. If you already own Element Bass, you can grab that update for absolutely free. And if you've been on the fence, hey, we've fixed a whole bunch more stuff. So grab your copy today. All right, let's check out the butthurt of the week.
We haven't got any free plugins, etc. lately, Fricker. What the hell? You used to demo new plugins and then occasionally would get a new version for it for free. You used to be out there doing all free IRs. Free stuff, Fricker!
Well, I'm glad you left a name that's easily pronounceable, that's for sure. Anyway, hey, thanks for writing in. I appreciate that so much, you cheap motherfucker. Yeah, it's almost like I'm trying to earn a living here or something like that and fund my fucking show. How dare I, put out a plugin that we couldn't give away for free. Anyway, just so you don't get your panties in a complete twist, I am researching a new piece on some free plugins I'll be checking out for 2025. So, patience is the key. I want to make sure you're not going to waste your time. Hopefully I can find some cool stuff for you guys and show you how to do some cool ass mixes using nothing but free plugins. I think you guys are going to dig it. Just wait a little while. It will come. I've got some great suggestions. That's for sure. So while that video is coming, in the meantime, I don't know, get a fucking job?
Hey Glenn, got signed into the Discord, but there aren't any channels, etc. for the new guys wondering how to get access to discussions there. Thanks.
Oh, how about that? My Discord, which is absolutely free for all. If you guys want to join the Discord, it's an amazing community. There's some absolutely awesome people in there. All you gotta do is follow the link in the description below. When you sign up, just hit the middle finger and it will activate you. That's all you gotta do. Once again, click the Discord link, hit the middle finger. Hope to see you guys in there. We do Counter-Strike nights every once in a while. I try and do like morning coffee with you guys. And sometimes, you guys are really helpful for me getting ideas for videos. It's an awful lot of fun. Come hang out. I hope to see you in there.
RE, the why your guitar sounds like shit in a mix video. That's exactly what I learned as a self-taught beginner to recording and why my guitar sounded like shit in a mix. Thanks a whole damned bunch, Glenn. I already knew from my channel testing that pickups, amp sim, cables, string gauge, plectrum, socks, and weather didn't matter scientifically tested, just trust me, TM. This video gave me the basic thing I was missing when the other sources were talking about extra software, EQ curves, and fancy studio monitors and equipment. Sometimes it's the really simple basics that get overlooked and taken for granted. I struggled to get a decent tone for easy E standard 6-string before because I wasn't nailing the bass and drum levels first. That video gave me such a quick results that I went all in for something. I'd never previously struggled to get non-muddy and easily got a massive and heavy as heck solid tone for my 7-string using drop G in less than 30 seconds. Thanks so much, Glenn. The video opened up a world ton for me.
Oh, that's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for writing in and letting me know you got some great results. Now, for you guys who haven't seen that video, please check out this video here. It's called Why Your Guitars Sound Like Shit in a Mix. And I show you guys my method for dialing in a guitar sound. It's actually really fucking simple. I've been kind of working this way for a while, and it just came out of a discussion I had with Henning Pauly. Henning, despite his just idiotic looks, actually has a pretty high functioning intelligence going on under all that attempted comedy. Attempted and failure at comedy, that is. But he's a pretty savvy dude when it comes to some of this stuff. And he's like, well, yeah, just dial in your guitar with all the other stuff going on. I'm like, yeah, well, that kind of makes sense. It's kind of like, when he tried out my Element bass plugin, he's like, why does this bass sound so huge? I can't use this. So I'm like, nah, I'm nuts. It's the same idea. Play the fucking mix. Play the bass with the mix. It's set to dial that in for your mix. Oh. Anyway, if you're struggling with your guitar tone, this is a real simple way that might get you some really awesome results. I highly recommend checking that video out if you haven't seen it already. It's one of the best tutorials I've done in quite a while.
Glenn, love your channel and everything you have going on here. I've been at home mixing some demos for our band, and your bass and drums first approach a few video backs really hit the spot. I went back and remixed everything we had by doing the drums and bass first, pulled in the vocals to make sure they sounded good, and stood out, then bringing up the guitars. What do you know? It sounded way better than my original mix, and you could still hear everything. As one of the guitar players in the band, put the ego aside. You don't have to be the loudest thing in the mix.
Yes, I do! Fuck you, folk in 1974!
Okay, this guitar sound is fire for sure, but how'd you get that snare sound?
You're not the only person to say something about the snare sound in that mix.
Off topic, but that snare sound is incredible as well.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, I'm so used to guys saying, oh, that snare sound sucks, that snare sound sucks. Let's just say I've been doing a little bit of homework, especially since I got the board, and I've been applying some techniques I've learned and kind of been moving things forward. I'm really liking the results I'm getting.
I'm just at the beginning of the video, but damn, the feel of that mix would be great for so many guitar genres. It reminds me, most of all, of 90s Andy Wallace.
May I have been studying some of Andy Wallace's tutorials. Time will tell. Let's put it this way, though. I am going to break it down for you guys and show you how I'm getting that snare sound and how I'm getting it all to fit together. I'm going to be probably shooting that maybe tomorrow, actually. We'll see. Stay tuned for that one. That's going to be coming out real soon, and I think you guys are really going to dig it.
I'm curious as to why you put so much emphasis on creating tone by mic selection rather than mixing console or a graphic EQ.
Simply put, because that's where you need to start. You need to get the sound right with the microphone. We're using EQ for minor adjustments, not for major fixes. You either get it right or you don't get it right. There's no such thing as fixing it. Here's the thing to remember. An equalizer does phase shift. That is it. So you can only affect the sound that much. And you got to think of an equalizer as a shitty amplifier. So if you turn up the treble, you're just turning up the treble and you're adding a whole bunch of noise when you do it too. Once again, it's far easier to get a more interesting sound by working with mic selection and mic technique. Get it right at the source. You'll get far better results further down the road. It's more difficult, but it's definitely worth learning.
Is there any point of using actual speakers these days over IRs, or cabinet emulation a good unit plugin?
Yes and no. I mean, like, we've been working on the Prism thing for a while over at Spectre Digital. Hopefully it's going to be coming out this spring. Hopefully it's going to be coming out real soon. That's got a massive library. It is available for pre-release if anyone wants to check it out. There's some really great stuff in there. There's all my cabs in there. It's got Ulf Blumberg's vintage Marshall collection. You know, we got just a ton of IRs in there that are just absolutely killer. But I still like working with microphones because you can get very unique blends, especially when you start, pulling out a Dynamount or something like that, and you can really tweak things out to exactly what the song needs. So you don't necessarily need cabinets anymore, but if you're really into recording guitar, sure, yeah, it can't hurt to have a good one or two on hand. But then again, you don't have to drop an awful lot of money on guitar cabs because you can get some outstanding ones from Adam Hall and Harley Benton. Like 2x12s, I've really been getting into recording them lately, and I've just been getting spectacular results with them, and they're not that expensive.
On an older video, I told you I used T75s, and you told me you hated them, and I shouldn't invest in a guitar amp software instead. You had me second-guessing all my gear, and I loved how it sounded. I thought you were crazy for saying that. I'm glad you gave them another chance. They've always sounded great to me, and they play well with other speakers.
Hey, you know what? That's fantastic, man. If you've been getting great results with them all the time, sure. I mean, I hadn't for the longest time because I was using only a 57 with them, and they're very spiky with the 57. Pair them up with a 421, it's a completely different ballgame. And this is the thing I always try and mention to you guys, is that I'll get people ask, well, you said one thing a long time ago and you changed your mind. I'm like, yes. We have to be able to change our mind. If you don't change your opinion based on the available evidence, then you're nothing more than a fanatic. And I don't want to be a fanatic. I want to grow as an engineer. I want to learn new things and look at things from different perspectives. That's why I try and do things like that. Sometimes I can be a little stubborn. Sometimes maybe not so much. Sometimes maybe some things will open my eyes up in a different way. That's the thing. The truth of the matter is we're all just flying by the seat of our pants. It's the people pretending that they know everything, that they've got this all figured out. That's the lie. That's the facade. All right, that's it for this episode. Thanks to everybody for writing in. Thanks for everybody for commenting. It's always great to hear from everybody. And if you want to see your comment or question on the show, leave it. And if I think it's cool, I'll try and put it in there somewhere along the way. And if you're watching the show and you haven't hit the subscribe button, hey, it doesn't cost you anything to hit the button. It would really help out. I'm trying to get to 600,000 and I need your help to do it. And it would be much cooler if you were subscribed. Anyway, got a bunch of cool stuff coming up this week. Keep your eyes peeled. I'll hope to see you in the comments. Take it easy. Have a great weekend. Sadly, Poo Nunja, try writing something on guitar. Oh, and yes, I do. Fuck. What's the guy's name?